Here is something wild that nobody admits out loud. Most people who finally get ahead with money do not do it by saving harder. They do not do it by cutting out every little thing they enjoy. They do it with one habit that sounds almost too simple. And here's the part that surprised me the most. This habit works better if you are starting late. Because when you are 35 or 45 or older, you know yourself. You have tried the rules that did not stick. You have lived through the guilt of failing at budgets you hated. So this is not about discipline or deprivation. It is about one small shift in how you think about your money before you touch it. And it changes everything quietly. Stay with me because this is the move that finally made money feel possible for me. And I have watched it work for people who thought they were too far behind. I am Jimmy, and this is Late to Wealth, the channel for people who started late and refuse to stay behind. Subscribe and turn on the bell so you catch every single move. Okay, so what is the habit? It is deciding what your money is for before it hits your account. Not budgeting after you spend it, not tracking where it went. Deciding ahead of time. Look, I know that sounds boring, but here is why it is different. When you decide in advance, you remove the guilt and the negotiation. You stop arguing with yourself every single time you want something. You just follow the plan you already made when you were calm. And that one shift is what makes saving automatic instead of painful. Most people treat money like it is one big pile. Then they wonder why it disappears. When you name your money ahead of time, it stops feeling like a pile you are stealing from. It feels like you are funding your actual life. And this is where it changes for you. Because you are not 22 anymore. You do not have 40 years to figure this out by trial and error. You need something that works now, and this works now. So let me walk you through exactly how to do it. These are the moves that made the difference. But the first step is the one most people skip entirely, and without it, nothing else sticks. Step 1. Name your money the day you get paid. Not later, not when you feel like it. The same day? Here's what I mean. You sit down for 10 minutes and you assign every dollar a job. Rent money, grocery money, gas money, safety money, fun money. You can do this on paper or in your phone or in a simple app. It does not matter how. What matters is that you do it before you spend anything. Let me give you a real example. My friend Alicia is a dental hygienist in Ohio. She gets paid every other Friday. She used to let her paycheck sit in checking and just hope it lasted. It never did. Now she does this. Friday morning, paycheck hits. She opens her phone. She moves her rent portion to a separate account she does not touch. She labels money for her car payment. She sets aside $40 for her safety fund. She gives herself $60 for fun, guilt-free. Everything left is groceries and gas. The whole thing takes her less time than scrolling Instagram. And here is what changed. She stopped feeling like she was bad with money. Because she knew exactly what everything was for. When she wanted to order takeout, she checked her fun money. If it was there, she ordered it. No guilt. If it was gone, she waited. No drama. That is the power of naming your money. It removes the constant negotiation with yourself. You already decided. Now you just follow it. And for someone starting late, that piece is worth more than any interest rate. Okay, but here is the move almost nobody does. And it is the one that quietly saves the most money without feeling like sacrifice. Step 2. Use the waiting rule for anything over $50. Here is how it works. If you want something that costs more than $50, you wait 24 hours. That is it. You do not tell yourself no. You just hit pause. You bookmark it, you screenshot it, you write it down. Then you come back tomorrow. If you still want it and you have the money named for it, you buy it. No guilt. But here's what happens most of the time. You forget about it. Or you realize you do not actually want it that much. Let me tell you about Marcus. He is a transit driver in Seattle. Started focusing on money at 41. He used to buy stuff on impulse all the time. Gadgets, tools, stuff for hobbies he thought he would start. He tried budgeting, hated it, felt like being grounded. Then he started using the waiting rule. He saw a cordless drill kit on sale for $70. Old Marcus would have bought it that second. New Marcus screenshotted it and waited. Next day he realized he already had a drill. He just forgot where he put it. Saved $70 without feeling deprived. That is the magic of the waiting rule. It does not stop you from buying things. It just stops you from buying things you do not actually want. And when you are starting late, every dollar you keep is a dollar working for your future. Now, this next step is the one that makes it sustainable, because if saving feels like punishment, you will quit. Step 3. Track your wins, not your spending. Look, most money advice tells you to track every dollar you spend. Write it down, categorize it, feel bad about it. That works for some people, but for most of us, it just makes us feel like we are failing. So flip it. Instead of tracking what you spent, track what you kept. Every week, write down one money win. Just one. It can be tiny. You used the waiting rule and skipped a purchase. You added $20 to your safety fund. You meal prepped lunches and didn't buy food out. You paid your credit card on time. Anything. Here is why this matters. Your brain needs proof that you are making progress. When all you see is what you did wrong, you give up. When you see what you did right, you keep going. I started doing this in a notes app on my phone. Every Sunday, I wrote one line. Saved $40 this week by cooking at home. Passed on those headphones, waited, didn't want them anymore. Hit $200 in my emergency fund. After a few months, I scrolled back and read them all, and I could not believe how much had changed. That list was proof I was not behind anymore. I was catching up. And this is where it changes for you, because when you started late, you need that proof. You need to see that it is working. Tracking wins gives you that. Tracking spending just makes you feel bad. Okay, this next move is sneaky powerful, and it is the one that removes decision fatigue completely. Step 4. Decide once, then automate it. Here is the truth. Every time you have to decide whether to save money, you will find a reason not to. Not because you are weak, because you are human. And humans are really good at talking themselves out of things. So you remove the decision. You decide one time what you are going to save. Even if it is tiny, then you automate it so it happens without you. Let me be clear. I'm not talking about some huge amount. I'm talking about whatever you can do and not notice. For some people, that is $10 a week. For some, it is $50. It does not matter. What matters is that it happens automatically. Here's what this looked like for me. I set up my checking account to move $25 every payday into a savings account. I did not see it. I did not think about it. It just happened. At the end of 6 months, I had over $300. I did not feel it leave, but I sure felt it when I saw that balance. That is the power of deciding once. You are not relying on willpower every single week. You made the call once when you were clear-headed. Now it just runs. And for people starting late, that is how you catch up. Not by being perfect, by being consistent. And automation makes you consistent without even trying. Now let me tell you what happens when you actually do this. Because the shift is not just financial, it is emotional. When you start naming your money, waiting before you buy, tracking your wins, and automating your saving, something changes. You stop feeling like money is this thing that controls you. You start feeling like you control it. And that feeling, that shift from helpless to capable is what changes everything. Because once you feel capable, you keep going. You start looking for more ways to win. You start believing you can actually build something. And that belief is what carries you from behind to caught up. I've seen this happen over and over. People who thought they were too late, too broke, too far behind. They start with one habit, naming their money. And 6 months later, they have a safety fund. A year later, they are paying off debt. 2 years later, they are talking about retirement like it is actually possible. Not because they made more money, because they changed how they thought about the money they already had. So here is what I want you to do this week. Pick one of these steps. Just one. Name your money the next time you get paid. Use the waiting rule on the next thing you want to buy. Write down one money win. Automate one tiny amount into savings. Do not try to do all of it. Just pick one and prove to yourself it works. Because it will, and once you see it work, you will do the next one. That is how people catch up. Not by overhauling their entire life overnight, by stacking small wins until they add up to something real. And if you are watching this, you are already ahead of where you were yesterday. Because you are here, learning, trying, refusing to stay behind. That is what Late to Wealth is all about. People who started late and decided that doesn't mean game over. It just means we are catching up our own way. So subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the bell so you don't miss a single move. Because we are building something here, and you are part of it. Now here is what I want to know. Which of these steps scares you the most? Naming your money and seeing where it really goes? Waiting 24 hours before you buy something? Automating savings and losing control? Drop a comment and tell me which one makes you nervous. Because that is probably the one you need to do first. I will see you in the next one.